Here there. Change. Okay, welcome everyone for this Sunday evening program. Prabhuji, you can let me know when to stop. Okay, so I'll take the first clue when people get up and go. Okay, we are reading from the second chapter. Is this off? It's audible? Hare Krishna. It's audible, right? Yes. I'm usually loud, so. See. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we'll read from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Ah, thoda bahut. Okay. So on that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, so second chapter, shloka number 46 and 47. Let's see if we can cover both. Do justice for these shlokas. Is my laptop correct? My laptop. Your laptop is now. What's this? Not your laptop. Should I? No, no, not required. Okay, you can repeat after me. Yavan Artha Udapani Sarvatah Samplutodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Kamanasya Vijanatah Yavan Artha Udapani Sarvatah Samplutodake तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः यावान् अर्थ उदापाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. Okay, this shloka, one devotee can read. So we say,
यावनर्थ उदपाने
यावान्नन्दापाने
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु
तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु
ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः.
Translations and purports by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay. Translation: all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Purport: the rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self realization. The purpose of self realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 15.15. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. So, self realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with him. The relationship of the living entity with Krishna is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 15.7. The living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7 as follows. O Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family, like that of a Chandala, dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. So, one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdoms for a better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for a common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals Nor is it possible to study all the Vedanta and Upanishads thoroughly. It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources to execute the purposes of the Vedas. This is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy, the Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of of Lord Krishna. He did so and became ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand the Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in the Vedic wisdom, and the author and knower of Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. You all know the invocation prayers? We'll do it together. Yeah. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं चैतन्यदेवं श्रीरथा सगणादलितं श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Okay, Hare Krishna. Everyone is welcome. Thank you for organizing Murli Priya Prabhu, Guru Gaura Prabhu. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to see this audience. This tells me that you need a bigger place shortly. Yeah, so you should definitely have much bigger place in HSR. Thank you all for joining in. Today there are two shlokas and इट हैज़ टू बी इंटरैक्टिव सो आप लोग मुझसे बात करोगे तो मैं आपसे बात करूँगा, वरना लेक्चर तो बोरिंग हो जाएगा 10 मिनट के बाद, ठीक है? सो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर चैंटिंग 16 16 माला जप कौन करता है डेली? यू आर सपोज्ड टू. थैंक यू. Okay. So nice. So there are a lot of people who are relatively new, I'm guessing, which is good that you have started. So whatever we read so far, you understood that what's the importance of chanting. What we'll do is we'll try to cover some basics. So this is second chapter. Second chapter, what's the name of the second chapter? Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga, meaning? Technical name is correct. Numbers. Sankhya means numbers. Okay. What is English? Contents of Gita summarized. Contents of Gita summarized. That means Krishna here talks about all the things that are going to come in the later chapters. He's going to summarize and present. He's been talking about the karma concept leading up to this, right? The recap is we are leading to this, and he's giving an analogy. Krishna very rarely, but in Bhagavad Gita, how many shlokas are there in Bhagavad Gita? 700. Exact 760. 760. Okay. 700 is what we have. Okay. So in the 700 shlokas, Krishna speaks about 560 odd shlokas. And very rarely he uses analogies. Most of it is in the second chapter. Okay. So he'll talk about a tortoise analogy a little later. after that another analogy will come. But this well and a flowing water or a reservoir of water is a very nice analogy. What does it say? So people in the villages, many of the city ones might not know, people in the villages used to have different wells. One well for drinking, one well for washing clothes. Villagers would tell, don't go there and take bath. This is only drinking water. You have heard of that, right? But when there is a river nearby, automatically you do everything. The same river, one person is washing cloth, the other person is taking bath, the other person is carrying the water home to drink because the water is always fresh. That means a purpose of different wells is satisfied with just one big river. Correct? So this analogy, how do we understand it? Right? So before we get into a lot of details, let's start with fundamentals. आप उत्तर दे सकते हो जिसको भी पता है continue. So it says that there are four Vedas. What are they?
Veda, Atharvana Veda, Sama Veda, Yajurveda.
Okay, Rig, Yajur, Sam, Atharva. Four Vedas. All of us know the names. What does Veda mean? Veda is a book of knowledge. Veda means knowledge. So what does it give? If it's a book, then yes. So any knowledge that you get is Vedic if it is properly understood. Okay. Now, how many of you have read all the four Vedas? No Chaturvedis in the room? Trivedis? No. These are surnames. Okay, in India, used to get these surnames. Chaturvedi, Trivedis, Vivedi. These were because they used to finish X number of Vedas. Very difficult for us to finish. So instead of four Vedas, there was something else that were a subset in the Vedas itself. They used to come out of the Vedas. These were called the Upanishads. Okay, you've heard of Upanishads. How many are there? 108 Upanishads, popular Upanishads. Okay, I don't know the number of Upanishads. But basically, the Jnana portion of the Vedas, extracted portion, Vedas are basically for college kids, the theorems that you get, the quotes. Little bit of jnana extracted out of it, explanation to it was provided in the Upanishads. Very popularly, Ishopanishad, Katha Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, these are all there. These are basically what you would hear more often in ISKCON. There are others as well that are there as Upanishads. Okay, fine. Then the most popular, the summary of all the Vedas, the extraction of all the Vedas. What is it called? You've already gone way behind. Bhagavatam is the commentary to it. Puranas. What is a commentary? Bhagavatam is a commentary of what? Vedanta Sutra. Veda Anta. Anta, conclusions of all the Vedas comes into something called Vedanta. Vedanta Sutra or the Brahma Sutra. Sutra again is your theorems, your sutras that are there, quotes. But Vedanta of all the conclusion of the Vedas. That's why any bona fide Sampradaya will have their commentary on the Vedanta. Okay, so now you're still with me. Lot of theories going on. We'll finish this. We'll go to the Katha part in a bit. So Vedanta should be there. So Vedanta is the summary study. Okay. Then someone said Puranas, okay? Itihasas. Also Vedic scriptures. What are they? Now the first three, whatever you have heard so far, Vedas, Upanishads, and Vedanta, these are all called Shrutis. They are passed on from generation to generation in the Shruti form or the hearing form, the form of voice. The Smritis are the ones that are code written down. These are your Itihasas and Puranas. Simple difference. Itihasa, history. And Puranas, Purana, ancient. Nice translation. So basically, Itihasa takes up one item, one history, writes about it. Puranas take various parts from the historical evidences, puts together. Okay. Don't have to complicate. Itihasas popular. What are the popular Itihasas? Mahabharata, Ramayana. Okay. And Puranas? Gaura Puran, Devi Puran, Padma Puran, Shiva Puran, Bhagavad Puran. There are quite a few Puranas, some eight, which are very, very called Mahapuranas and so on. Amala Puran is your, Amala is uncontaminated. That's your Bhagavad Puran. Okay, so far we are there. Now, Bhagavad Gita, is it Veda, Upanishad, Purana, Itihasa? What is it? It's part of Mahabharata, so Itihas. And anyone has heard as it is Shruti. Okay, it is Shruti. It is Shruti, but it is Smriti. So it is Itihasa. Anyone has heard as Gita Upanishad? So it becomes Upanishad also. And anyone has told you that it's Panchama Veda? Yes. So it's also Veda. Okay, so Mahabharata, or in fact Bhagavad Gita, falls into many of these categories. Okay, why it falls into many categories? Well, like Molly Priya Prabhu said, because it's spoken by Krishna, it is considered as is as truth. Problem comes where, and we take Krishna's words, try to put our own interpretations to it. That's why the Bhagavad Gita that we follow is called
As it is.
Gita as it is. Right? So we try to keep as uncontaminated as possible. So from there we'll read. Now we are clear on the structure. Now it says we don't have time to read all the Vedas, Upanishads. To perfect your life, you have to be. You have heard of Varnas and Ashramas. I'll not go too deep into it. But there are four Varnas, four Ashramas that we are there. Like all of us are in which ashram? Sannyasa ashram. So all of us are sannyasa.
Vanaprasthashrama.
We are in Vanaprastha ashram.
No.
We have,
Oh,
we should not say, no. We are trying to become Vanaprasthas at some time. Vanaprastha is just renounced from your Grihastha responsibilities. All of us are Grihasthas, and Grihasthas have a certain responsibility. It's what we'll see in the next shloka. Okay. Now, hmm, like it is said, all these different parts I cannot cover, but I go apply for a job, and the job's minimum qualification is this person should be 12th pass. Okay? And I'm a graduate. Will they consider me? Yes. Right? And if someone is saying that I need 10 rupees, I give him 100 rupees. Will he say, give me 10 rupees? Why?
more than
10 is already there in 100. 12th is already there in your graduation. Correct? Like that, when you understand the bigger picture, these smaller ritualistic activities that are there in the Vedas are automatically covered. That's what we are trying to learn here. Because there are samskaras right from our birth to our death. So, womb to tomb, not even birth, pre birth. From the womb of the mother to our tomb, that we die and we are buried, till there, buried or burnt, whatever. So, till there, everywhere there are samskaras that we have to follow. Many of us don't even know what these are. And so some of them are fortunate, but most of them don't know what these are today, right? So instead of trying to follow everything that is there, trying to satisfy everyone, who should we be thankful to? Do you guys know? Give an example. Okay, we should be firstly thankful to our parents, giving birth, mother birth, then
Guru.
guru, then spiritual. You're fully spiritual. Okay, Vedic scriptures. We are still in second chapter. We're already in 18th. So then we should be thankful to the demigods, to the rivers, right? The sun is giving us light, Indra is giving us rain, Varuna is giving us water. All of them,
Sky.
sky, who should be thankful to? Sorry,
Trees and plants.
trees and plants for giving us oxygen, right? The animals for barking in the night. And we should be thankful to a lot of them, right? So there are so many people that we keep telling thanks, it becomes very difficult. Our life will not be easy. So that's why they used to have different homas, yagnas to thank all these people. That's what we where these karma kanda portion meant to be, or the karma yoga portion meant to be in the scriptures. There were ritualistic activities that you follow. Thank them. Okay. It could be your Ganesha puja, it could be any of the pujas and ceremonies that you have heard from our childhood we have been following. Right? So if you have earlier there used to be pujari who do it. Today there is a cassette or a YouTube that actually does your Ganesh puja, right? So they play they know at the end of it there is something called Shalastuti that goes. अब ये करोगे आप तो आपको ये सब कुछ अच्छा होगा। सत्यनारायण पूजा आप करोगे, इस एक एक को काम नहीं था तो उसको काम मिल गया। This person did not get married, he got married, he found a nice girl. Afterwards, what happened? They don't tell you. You would have stayed around. Right? So this is what your ritualistic activities did. Okay. Ultimately, we won't be able to follow all this. So Srila Prabhupada very simply says, what should we do? What was the conclusion of this shloka? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked, why don't you recite? Why are you not reading the Vedanta? Because he was connected to a Shankara Sampradaya, right? So they told, why don't you recite the Vedanta? Because Vedanta is very, very important for them. Sharirika Bhashya is what is their commentary. What did he reply? Guru mere bole, मूर्ख हो. And my Guru said, I'm a fool. All I need to do is chant. and that gives me unlimited ecstasy. So for people who lifted their hand for 16 rounds, please increase. For people who did not lift, increase how much ever you're doing. Okay, that's basically the understanding that we should take from here. Otherwise क्या होगा, जिंदगी में हम लोग ढूंढते रह जाएंगे कि what next. Okay, because there is enough competition, enough rat race, both materially and spiritually. Many of you are probably working, studying in college, school, where whatever you are doing, there is competition. It's not a minute of rest, especially in Bangalore, so highly competitive, right? So at every moment we see what we should do. And also from the Vedic scriptures, it is not very important that, okay, am I able to recite it very nicely? Am I able to study all the Vedas? Am I able to by heart very nicely? What is important? Do I surrender? Do I understand? Right? So there's a nice pastime. There's one so Srila Prabhupada, you all know Srila Prabhupada using, right? So fundamentals. So Srila Prabhupada, when he came back to India, he had a lot of foreign devotees, disciples with him. It's a foreign body disciples with him. So they all came, so they were doing the different work. There was one very nice gentleman who came to Srila Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, your disciples are very, very nice, they do a lot of service, and whenever they are doing these shlokas, their pronunciation is not very good. Not recent, the Sanskrit is acha nahi. If you give me permission, I'm a scholar, I will teach them Sanskrit. Prabhupada said, wonderful. Please come forward. Very wonderful. Please do. Please do. Because he'll be able to recite mantras very nicely, he'll be able to teach. Only thing is, my disciples don't take coffee tea and follow four regulative principles. So, move kar diya. I will not be able to give up coffee tea. It's not about by hearting the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. It's not about knowing all the scriptures by heart, not being able to, public speaking, big name. Are you able to follow? Because you can hide from anyone. You can't hide from yourself and the Lord. Right? So many times people cheat themselves also. They don't understand they are cheating themselves outside world, right? So I know it is wrong, I still do it, right? But you can't hide from the Lord. The Lord is watching. Right? So when you understand the Bhagavad Gita, then automatically all the other misconceptions in your life will reduce. They will all be able to come into a simple solution. Okay. So we'll probably see a couple more, at least one more thing, one more story of this, right? Um, so there were when Krishna's pastime was happening in Vraj, right? So there were a lot of brahmanas who were doing a big yajna for Lord Vishnu. They prepared a lot of items. The Brahmana Patnis had prepared a lot of items. Some of you might be knowing this story. They prepared a lot of items. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Brahmanas were setting the stage up for the yajna, and they were starting it. The Gopa boys, along with Krishna, all the little kids on their calves, they were running around. And they said that, "Oh, Krishna, बहुत भूख लगी है, उनको बहुत भूख लगी है, कुछ खिला दो." For everything they would go to Krishna. You know, right from killing the Talavan donkey to anything, Krishna would usually do something. Every day they used to have a fasting. So they went to Krishna. Krishna said that वहाँ पे कुछ चल रहा है ना, कुछ कर रहे हैं लोग. Go and ask them. Why don't you ask them कि give us some food? So these boys came. They went to these brahmanas and said that, you know what, we want some food. They said, chal hut. We have not yet bhok nahi lagaya. We have not yet offered. We've just cooked. It's not yet offered to the yajna. So chal hut. They said, नहीं नहीं नहीं. ओ नंदन वहां पे खड़ा है. नंदन कृष्णा वहां पे खड़ा है. उसको चाहिए. No, usually we go, no, no. The kid comes to the mother with the recommendation कि उसको चाहिए. मुझे नहीं दोगे, but उसको तो दे दोगे आप. So बोले, Krishna नहीं. Yeah, not giving anything. So they come back. They're very disappointed. They are like, "अरे मिला नहीं है." Krishna says, "Go to the wives of these brahmanas. They are the ones who are cooking back door. Back door entry से चलो, usually माता ये दे देते. They are very nice, more merciful than the Prabhus. So why don't you go and ask the Mata?" So these boys came. As soon as they came and asked Krishna को चाहिए, they said, "Take it." They immediately gave. The Brahmanas, those days, the Brahmanas were the ones who were eligible to read the Vedas. Usually, Matajis don't read the Vedas. It's always the the Brahmanas, highest quality in the society who read the Vedas. So they read all the Vedas, they were doing the big ceremony, they were inviting the Supreme Lord to honor the Naivedya, but they missed the simple point. They missed Krishna was the Supreme Lord. But the Brahmana Patnis who were there, they didn't have to read anything, but they were fully attached to Krishna. So, what I'm trying to say here is that, like the entire knowledge, Vedic knowledge is not something that we may be able to learn. Our lifetime is very short unless we plan for a multi lifetime here. It's better that we look at the shortcut to get out. Okay. What Srila Prabhupada have that gives us a lot of confidence. Srila Prabhupada said, I have the backdoor entry to the spiritual world. Okay. So, if you're able to actually please Srila Prabhupada, see, going to the spiritual world is not easy. Okay. So, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartin Arjuna. Okay. Even if you go to Brahmaji's planet, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartin, you will fall down again to this earth. I'm not sure if you have discussed the universe structure and so on. There are 14 planets, but you would have heard in different places. So, you even if you go to the topmost planet, it's very much possible that you will fall down back here to the earth. But if you hold on to the lotus feet of the Guru, you'll actually get to Srila Prabhupada is your first guru. That's what we usually call. Srila Prabhupada is our founder Acharya. He's our first and foremost Shiksha Guru. He's giving us all the Shiksha. We are just talking about it. Any of us who speaks on this, we're just representing Srila Prabhupada. None of us take ownership of your lives. You do it. Srila Prabhupada does. Then it's our spiritual masters, our own gurus. They will hold on to us. धोती पकड़ो निकल जाओ यहाँ से. That's the summary of the shloka, right? So chant Hare Krishna. Let's finish the shloka with one chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Okay, we are good on time, I guess. So we have to prioritize Krishna. The difference between what the Brahmanas did versus the Brahmana Patni, what they did was they prioritized Krishna. How do we prioritize Krishna? How do we bring Krishna into our life? Is something that we will actually see next. Okay. It's very easy to satisfy the Lord. It takes a lot of discipline to do it. So Srila Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is very, very simple. He didn't say it's very easy. He said it's very simple. Okay. There is a bit of an effort that we put in. Then the path becomes easy. All of us are going to the same destination. Okay. अब मानो या मानो हमारा destination एक ही है. All of us are reaching the same place. What is the difference? आगे पीछे. How do we travel? Right? From here to Mysore, I need to travel. Most of you came for, some of you came to Panihati. You came by bus. Some people came by car. Some people took the train. Some people are in a cycle. Some people are trying to walk. It's the speed. And our speed increases with the number of sincere Hare Krishna chanting that you can do every day. Number of rounds. So there was a nice person, a very elderly person. I'm talking about 12, 15 years back. No, he was a very, very busy businessman and so a nice donor and everything. But chanting के लिए तो उसके पास कभी वक्त नहीं था. Would never have time for Krishna conscious activities, chanting, reading, coming to a temple, hearing katha. He never had time. All of you are making time, right? So all of you are making time on a Sunday evening. Big deal. No? I understand. When I go back to office tomorrow, I would have each of them telling what was their weekend program. And I tell that I go to temple. हर रोज weekend temple ही जाते हो. कुछ तो different करो. हाँ, आपने क्या किया? Oh, I went to this mall, that mall, this traffic, that traffic. आप ही तो वही कर रहे हो. You don't understand कि you're having a bad life. I'm having a better life. But can't always tell. So, anyways, this person was very, very busy in his life, throughout his life. And devotees kept approaching him, kept approaching him, kept approaching him. Saying that, कुछ तो, I mean, whenever you go, you would give some donation. Say, charity is the easier part. Okay. But, following something would be very difficult. I don't have time. I have money. Some people don't even give that. That's a different story. Time है या money है, something you give it to the Lord, right? So, तन मन धन से करना चाहिए. धन तो छोटी बात है. तन और मन से करना चाहिए. So, anyways, so one day what happened? At his office, he fainted and fell down. He was running a big business. He fell down. They rushed him to the nearest super specialty hospital. And the doctor diagnosed him and said, no problem with you. Walk 1 hour every day in the morning. You'll be all fine. That person who did not even have 30 minutes in his life to do anything else now could make every day 1 hour. He started walking every day. Why? Because he could prioritize them. Exactly, right? उसको पता है नहीं करूंगा तो मर जाऊंगा यार. तो सिंपल सी बात है. Right? So he could prioritize. Similarly, if we understand our situation, this is life and death. Don't want to take another birth here. This is our choice. Chance, right? So 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, इतना ही तो मांग रहे, इतना ज्यादा थोड़ी मांग रहे. So much we can always do, and that will give us determination to do more. This is I don't know how many of you experience, right? So people who have Ekadashis, how many of you follow Ekadashi? Right? Very nice. So many of you follow Ekadashi. 16 rounders तो नहीं करते हो, but Ekadashi follow करते हो, which is wonderful. Right? The first time you did, it was like craving ज़्यादा हो जाता है. In fact, that day only someone will send, I found a new recipe. Mataji, can you see this? Oh, but प्रभु जी, इस बार हम लोग ये वाला खाने जा रहे हैं. First you only, आज मैं फास्ट कर रहा हूँ, तुम सबको आज ही सूझ रहा है. मतलब you are trying to give me all this today. But after following for few days, few weeks, few months, few years later, Ekadashi becomes very normal. फल आहार तो इतना ही तो है. What's so difficult? And similarly, your first 2 rounds, 4 rounds, maximum, your first 6 rounds are your own effort. Afterwards, your bad round starts. Still, your rounds will continue. Okay, you will not want to stop. Notice you're doing 16 rounds. It might still be a struggle that you're right. But remember, once you are able to chant nicely, especially in the association of devotees, remember this point because in the association of devotees, your spiritual life progresses very, very nicely. Okay. Panihati, I don't know how many of you chanted 16 rounds, even though you were not chanting. Come to Yatra with us. Yatra, longer yatras. When we go to Vrindavan, when we go to Jagannath Puri, when we go to Mayapur, the entire group of 150 people, 120 people, they are all chanting. अरे how can I be the odd man out? यहाँ पे क्या हो जाता है? I'm in a crowd of people when I'm the odd man out if I chant one round. वहाँ पे you're the other way around, right? So when you're walking around Govardhan, blissful it is. And there your 16 also kuch bhi nahi hai. There's so many devotees, 8 hours of walking. I read pastimes, kathas, leelas. 16 notes, 32 notes ho jata hai and automatically ho jata hai. Right? So when you're in association of devotees, it becomes a lot more easy. So prioritize Krishna, prioritize your spiritual life. Right? The vehicle will go very, very smoothly. Okay, we'll pause here for 2 minutes. You can tell me when to stop. Otherwise, we'll go to the next shloka. Any question on this topic? Okay, no questions. Very nice. We'll move on. Towards the end, you can we'll take questions if people have questions, of course. Okay, so before coming to ISKCON, right? So been in ISKCON for quite some time. Where have you heard Bhagavad Gita, or what have you heard of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita का नाम तो सुना होगा.
टीवी में
कहाँ पे?
महाभारत आता था.
महाभारत में सुना है.
Childhood.
Oh, very nice child. Sports competitions. Very nice.
वो 7 दिन का प्रोग्राम कराते हैं.
वो भागवत सप्ताह होता है.
हाँ.
वो भागवत होता है. भगवत गीता पे सप्ताह नहीं होता. I knew Bhagavad Gita very simple. मैं गीता पे हाथ रख के कसम खाता हूँ. और सीन मैं तो डिफॉल्ट प्रोग्राम था. फूड सीन मतलब भगवत गीता लेके भगवत गीता बड़ी बात. Other than that, the other places कर कल फर की इच्छा मत कर. तो कहीं पे भी घुसा देते थे. कोई भी क्लास में, कोई भी प्रोग्राम में, मैनेजर आके ऑफिस में बोला है प्रमोशन नहीं मिला, फल की इच्छा मत. कृष्ण ने भगवत गीता में बोला. This is the most popular of shlokas outside. Okay, so let's read this together. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भुर् मा ते संगोऽस्त्वकर्मणि. Okay, next devotee can read. One Mataji can read this, or one Prabhuji you can read this.
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते जना
फलेषु कदाचन
मा कर्म फल हेतु भुर
कर्म
मा ते संगोत्व कर्मणि.
Translation and interpretation of Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities. Never be attached to not doing your duty. So, but there are three considerations here: prescribed duty, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's required modes of material nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duty. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his duty, prescribed duty, without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Does he enjoy or suffer of the result of such actions? As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of of the scriptural injunctions without desire for result is action in the mode of goodness. Work with result being results become the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disintegrated obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause of bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Okay, so in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna gave his reasons for not wanting to participate in the war. Yes, no, you remember? That's why Bhagavad Gita was spoken, right? So, how many shlokas did Krishna talk in the first chapter? Zero, okay, one.
One.
First chapter. Huh. Actually, Krishna doesn't speak in the first chapter. He starts only in the second chapter. But there is a place where Krishna tells, "Behold, my dear Arjuna, look at the armies on both sides." But Sanjaya says this on behalf of uh, Krishna. Okay, Krishna is telling Arjuna बोल के Sanjaya बोलता है. Anyways, Krishna only starts in second chapter. Only after Arjuna gives his reasons in the first chapter, he is like, "I will not fight because this is sinful. I will not fight because what will happen to Varna Shankara? What will happen to my enjoyment and all that? So I do not want to fight." Okay, it is better for me to actually become a sannyasi, renounce everything, than be participating in this war and become sinful for a single throne. And Krishna here says that inaction is sinful. You cannot be inactive. So it is for all of us, right? So we cannot stop acting, especially when we spoke about Varna and Ashrama, right? So we are all Grihasthas. Grihasthas have our own duties to do, our own responsibilities that we have to perform. Okay, so there are three types of karma that is mentioned here. Let's look at it very, very quickly before we get into some kind of a story around these, right? So, first one, what is the kind of activity I should be doing? Okay, all those activities that are accepted as regulated, prescribed activities in the scriptures are the ones that I should perform. They are called sakarma. So we've been discussing the karma topic. We'll discuss more in the third chapter and the fifth chapter. Where we'll talk about the karmas and the activities. So sakarma are prescribed duties, activities that are allowed for you to do. Okay. Krishi Goraksha Vanicham. This is allowed for a Vaishya. Correct? Yes. Okay. What is Krishi? Agriculture, farming. Okay. Goraksha, having cattle. Vanicham, mean business. That is what is allowed for. Okay. What's allowed for a Brahmana?
Vedas.
Vedas. Okay, I'm supposed to read the scriptures. Okay, yajan yajan patan patan dana pratigraha. This is what is allowed. That means they can do yajnas. They can conduct yajnas. They can teach. Okay, yajan yajan. Patan pat reading the scriptures, teaching the scriptures. So teachers' activity, as long as they don't take salary, it is a Vedic activity. The moment they take salary, it becomes a Vaishya or Shudra. Depends on how much they charge. You know? Okay, so ideally they should not be charging other than for their livelihood. For their livelihood, then it's still free. They're still Vedic. If it's beyond that, if they want to accumulate money, then it becomes a Shudrik activity. Even though it is a better activity than so anywhere. So many of us can be in any, so-called born. I'm a born Kshatriya, I'm a born Brahmana, I'm a born whatever. But when we take salary from someone else, our activity is Shudrik activity. It's not wrong. They are all glorified divisions in the scriptures. They are part of the Varna and Ashrama. Progress, or you can stay in any ashrama and get out. Here it was mentioned that other than this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, do we have anyone anymore? No.
No.
Chandala?
No.
It's mentioned in the shloka. Actually, it's mentioned in the purport. So basically, these four are people who follow the Vedas. Many times people don't even follow. They are below these. Mlechas, the Chandalas, and so on. There are people below these four categories as well. Okay, not everyone falls into this. Okay. Anyways, so even a Chandala, who's a dog eater, Chandala basically, if you talk to elderly people, they'll say people who are in the graveyard, right? So the person who takes care of the graveyard, okay, they don't usually come into the society. In movies, one black shawl and one danda rakhe jo khade hote hain. Satya Harishchandra was not, he was a Kshatriya, but correct. In the Kshatriya Harishchandra story also, he becomes a Chandala. Okay, they will eat dead meat. Basically, they are allowed to eat dead meat for their survival. They don't fall into the Vedic. Even dog eater, when they chant the Hare Krishna mantra, is more qualified than a Brahmana who doesn't know the purpose. Vedically, that's what it means. Right? So, anyway, prescribed duty. Now I am working in an office. Is my prescribed duty that or not? So there are this shloka, this particular shloka can go on for any amount of time. It's not just that it's popular; it's got a lot of questions that people have that it can answer. Right, so it can give us a lot of clarity. But let me just keep it simple. More questions, you have your gurus who can actually help you. So in simple, I work in an office. That's not the problem. So many people come and tell that, oh, you know what, I work for so and so office, but my manager ka boss jo hai, who runs the company, he's a drunkard. Should I work or not? Hey, don't spoil your head. Many of us working in corporate, we don't even know what happens on the top line, right? I'm not working for him. What are we doing with what I earn is what matters. And your prescribed duties are those which are allowed shastrically to do, which means that you're not cheating, you're not gambling, you're not doing those activities which are falling you off. Okay? Yeah. Can you work in a liquor shop? Ideally not. You don't want to serve meat or liquor to someone else. You don't want to take karma. Okay? Many people discuss on this. This is an elaborate topic, but prescribed duties are sakarmic activities which will give you elevation, where you use the result of your activities properly. The second line of the shloka talks about Ma karma phala hetu nahi nahi. What was the karmanyavadikaraste? Na phaleshu kadachana. Fal ki ichha mat kar. Don't don't be attached to the fruits of getting it. So tomorrow your manager will say, okay, come to office, work very nicely. Don't expect the monthly salary. You will go. नहीं जाएंगे ना क्यों जाएंगे भाई माता जी आपने हंस लिया दूसरों ने सोच रहे कि अच्छा मेरा मैनेजर ऐसे भी बोल सकता है उसकी भी तो सैलरी है so right. So we will not do. What it talks about is what is in your control is what you should look at. For example, a student who writes the exam should look at what should I study, how should I write the exam, and so on. Correction and marks are left to the teacher. Like that, our working, when we do proper work from prescribed Vedic work, then the results are given from the Shastras itself. Lord takes care of it. You don't need to worry, right? And these happen with our guna, right? So a lot of times our qualities matter. A simple example that I remember is that there was once a guru to call his disciples to a sea, and they were bathing in the sea when a scorpion was drowning. You know, scorpion,
बिच्छू
bichu, अंदर डूब रहा था. तो the guru immediately picked up the bichu. And bichu क्या करता है?
काटता है
Tongue. Right? So it
स्टिंग
stings him. As soon as it stung him, he left it. It again started drowning. Again, he put his hand, lifted it. Again, it hit him. Again, he starts putting his hand. The disciples saw this, मतलब आप बुद्धू हो क्या? Then are you a fool? It's hitting you. Why would you want to save them? The guru replied, बिच्छू का खून जो है What Bhagwan? It is this the quality of that scorpion is to sting. But quality of a Brahmana or a human being is to save. I'm doing my duty while it's doing its work. That's my quality. So like that, all of us have some innate quality in us. All of us have our own set of qualities, and we should use the best of these qualities in the service of the Lord. Then it becomes prescribed routine. Whatever is your quality. I was just thinking, he did such nice kirtan, right? Usually in the sadhats, others should start picking up. He should not be doing four kirtans. I probably tell him later. But he did such a beautiful job. He was singing continuous, right? If your quality is you have a nice voice, give it to Krishna. If your quality is to arrange, if you have that ability, willingness, then give your best to the Lord. Best of your capabilities, your qualities should be used in the service of the Lord. Okay. Now all of you can go back and think, what is my best quality? I can do the best of sweets. I can probably do give best of classes. I can arrange for a transport. Like I said, Panihatti, we arranged 30 buses. It's not easy, right? So they were not me. They were a set of devotees who were doing that work. Right? So routing, planning, because we can't take 80 buses, Jagannath's money, and you can't take 52 people in a 50-seater bus. No, everything, right? So every area, what would be the right route, how much would it cost, when we should charge people, and so on, right? So there is someone who are very good at planning. They will do it. Someone who knows the local language, they will do the coordination with the bus driver, the transport team, and whatever, the cleaners in that Panihati place, and so on. Whatever is your capability, always look how can I engage this in Krishna's service? Am I engaging it in Krishna's service? Understood? Clear? Now, when I engage and I don't expect the results, how should I behave? Big question, right? I'm saying fal ki ichha mat karo. So what? Like the teacher will always give you marks, the Lord will always give you what you are eligible for. Okay, there is a small difference between what I think I'm eligible versus what I'm really eligible. The Lord will give you exactly what you're eligible. Sometimes my thinking can be high, most times, sometimes it can be lower than what I'm actually capable of. The Lord will give you exactly what you deserve. Your desire is different, you what you deserve, and He will give you the intelligence to do more. So when you start engaging in the Lord's service, automatically your life starts becoming easier and easier. So there's a very nice story on how to be completely renounced. One time, Arjuna and Krishna are very nice friends, right? So they were going in a chariot, and Arjuna Krishna को पूछता है, अरे कृष्ण मुझे ये बोलो, हर कोई कर्म को क्यों दानवीर बोलता है? एवरीवन कीप्स ग्लोरीफाइंग कर्ण एज दानवीर दानवीर, हम भी तो दान करते हैं, क्षत्रिय है, क्षत्रिय ऑटोमेटिकली गिव्स एवरीथिंग, तो क्या डिफरेंस है हम में और कर्ण में? सो कृष्णा सेज दैट ये आपको समझ आएगा, मैं आपको एक अच्छी जगह लेके जाता हूँ, चलो मेरे साथ. सो ही टेक्स हिम टू अ विलेज where he has a huge he Krishna creates a huge mountain of gold, mountain of gold coins. Okay, and he tells Arjuna, do one thing. You have a full day. What do you have? You have a full day starting 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening. That's the day. And at 6 o'clock in the evening, finish as much gold as possible. Give it in charity. Okay. So Arjuna said, wow. So he went to the village. He announced कि मैं gold दान कर रहा हूँ. सभी लोग यहाँ पे आ जाओ. He sent the Google location. So all of them came. So he started taking that gold and giving in baskets. So he used to fill, start giving, start giving, start giving. तभी नहीं हो रहा है. It's evening 6 o'clock. They all went back. The gold disappeared. Arjuna was very popular. Obviously, पूरे शहर को he is given the gold coins, right? So next day, Krishna tells, we will do the same activity in a nearby village. मेरे साथ आ जाओ. And he invites Karna along. This time. Karna also comes. He does the same condition to Karna. Here is a mountain of gold coins. Here is the village. Distribute as much as you can by 6 p.m. Arjuna, Karna goes to the village, invites everyone. All of them come. He calls a mukhya. He He goes back. He tells the mukhya, the chief of the village, this is yours. You take it, distribute it. We are people. That's all he did. Why? What was the difference here? You understood? Reactions पता नहीं चल रहा है मुझे. You understood? Clear? So the difference was Arjuna thought I am giving.
Ah,
Karna said, I have nothing to do with this. काम तो मुझे खाली करना है ना. I need to finish this goal को है तो मैं खत्म कर लेता हूँ. They will take it for the next any number of days. I am the one who's restricting them as till 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They don't have to worry. Karna had no connection with that goal. Similarly, the result that we are getting, the lesser you're attached to it, the more glorified it will be for you. Okay? Very difficult to follow. Easy to sit here and preach. Tomorrow my salary goes down by 10%, then all sorts of things will come in my head. It's a different plan. What we are telling is what shastrically it is there. Right? You do what is best that you can for the service of the Lord. Don't worry about the result that you get. And when you get the results, don't get attached to it. You will get the results. You will see the results are coming your way. Just don't get attached to it. And lastly, Krishna is telling Arjuna, inaction is sinful. So, anyways, the second one, this is sakarma, doing your activities. The second set of activities are vikarma or capricious activities, are activities that are not allowed in the scriptures. Right? So, sorry. Okay. Um, just lost my flow of thought. Right? So, vikarmic activities, right? So, vikarmic activities are basically those activities that you're not supposed to do. In simple, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication. These are actually activities that are meant not for human form of life. Okay, you will see that as you progress reading, you will understand that these are actually pulling me down in my spiritual life. These are the activities that are holding me back from getting my connection with the Lord. What is the connection with the Lord? How do we connect with the Lord? भगवान है, वक्त है, कनेक्शन का क्या है? कीर्तन, मनमना preaching, मनमना मतलब तो क्या करते हैं? वक्त क्या करता है?
स्मरण
स्मरण करता है, कीर्तन करता है, श्रवण कर.
श्रवण कीर्तन
भक्ति तो आ गया, नवविध भक्ति तो आ गया. और क्या होता है? Connection between the Bhagwan and the Bhakt is simple. It's bhakti. Bhakti means what? Bhakti means to serve.
love
Love. Loving devotional service. Love itself means loving devotional service. Love is not that, oh, I love my mother so much, but I'll not do anything for her. ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. I love means I express that love. Love means lovingly doing something for them, which is devotional service. Loving devotional. So भगवान और भक्त के बीच में connection itself is this love. When I want to increase my prema or the love for the Lord, these activities that I do are pulling me down. Okay, it can be calm, close, more hello, mother, matsarya. We will hear all these things shortly. Any of these activities, the anarthas that you have that are pulling you away from the Lord, stop doing them. Okay. Now, first thing I need to do is before I stop, I need to know what are those that I have. For that, you need to attend the other classes. So you will probably hear more about these things. But there are qualities that are not letting me to freely open myself up to the Lord. Okay. How many of you go and talk to the Lord every day? Nice, very nice. Very few, right? You know that He hears. भगवान सुन सकते हैं. Right? Sure. Okay. And does He reciprocate also? Krishna says that ye tamam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamyaham. I will reciprocate however people treat me. If you treat him as just an idol, just a stone, just someone behind the curtains, he will also treat you that way. But if you don't know whom to talk to, go talk to the Lord. And it's I've been hearing this. I probably don't do it as sincerely, but always every day go to the Lord. Spend 1 minute, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on your capacity. Tell the Lord what's happening. He knows everything about you. He just wants to hear it from you. You have seen that the little kids when they come back from school when they are छोटू they will come back, मम्मा ये हुआ था, पापा ये हुआ था, आज मैंने ये किया, ये homework किया. They tell. आज 2 + 2 4 मैंने सीखा. Not that mama doesn't know, papa doesn't know, right? They know, but still they come and tell. The Lord expects this. The Lord tells you, come and tell me. You be my child. And it takes a bit of maturity to actually be the child. Right? It doesn't sink in because we need to understand I'm not this child. right? So not being attached and telling the Lord, opening up your heart to the Lord is very, very, very important. Okay, when you start opening up, you will also understand that whatever you possess actually belongs to the Lord. Like the bank cashier, जो बैंक में बैठ के पैसा देता है, he has so much money in front of him, right? So how much money belongs to him?
Not a single.
Exactly same will be your situation. Whatever you have, your skills, your capacities, your wealth, whatever it is, it belongs to the Lord. You don't need to worry. You just need to freely give it to whoever has the right challan. That means I do my service freely to the Lord or His representatives. Okay, it's like you're the carpenter, not the owner of the house. So whatever furniture that you make, it's for the owner. Whatever capabilities, abilities that you have, it is for the Lord. Okay. Understand this. Stop the bad activities. Automatically they will go. When you increase your good activities, your bad activities will automatically stop. This is what I've understood. It will take a long time. You will understand what are those activities at least, and that will reduce. Okay. I'm craving to eat out. मुझे पिज़्ज़ा खाना बहुत पसंद है पिज़्ज़ा हट में. That was my big problem when I started in 2008. I had, those days Pizza Hut used to have a life membership. I used to have a life membership in Pizza Hut Tumlo. Seriously, I don't even still have my number. I have not changed my number for 15 years. मैं कॉल करता तो मुझे डिस्काउंट दे देते थे. And I used to stay alone for 6 months in a year. My parents used to travel to my sister's place. तो 6 महीने तो हफ्ते में 2-3 दिन तो पिज़्ज़ा बनता था. Suddenly I came to Krishna Paya. They said सिर्फ प्रसाद खाना है. Very difficult. How will I stop pizza? हाउ विल आई स्टॉप ये तो मुझे मैसेज पे मैसेज आ रहा है तब तो एसएमएस था व्हाट्सएप भी नहीं था मैसेज पे मैसेज आ रहा है कि यू ऑर्डर टुडे 50% डिस्काउंट क्रिकेट मैच चल रहा है 20% डिस्काउंट दैट हैंकरिंग विल स्टॉप वंस यू गेट द टेस्ट फॉर समथिंग हायर when you get a higher taste then automatically no to pizza Hut का क्या करेंगे we have a good wife who cooks nicely so that's a different story so depends right this for eating for any of your activities when you have a higher taste lower taste will automatically go away will automatically disappear so start or increase depending on where you stand on your efforts towards Krishna and as you grow see when the children came in right so when they're 5 year 6 year old kids they come and jump happily like a duck they do parents are very happy when after their 15 years 18 years they come and do like a duck parents are not going to be happy like the Krishna also expects us to grow you can't stagnate in your spiritual life give yourself a target a goal whatever we do in our corporate jargons जो smart goals हम लोग बनाते हैं do one for Krishna's goal also. I don't know it's probably mid of the year we usually do our goal setting around March during Gaur Purnima we tell okay this year I'll try to finish off this book finish off that book okay all of you are reading Bhagavad Gita how many of you have finished Bhagavad Gita at least once very nice very very nice right 3 times 3 times should have read. So start Bhagavatam. You need to go from graduation to post graduation because it's very, very beautiful. So you will hear about that in the next class when we talk about Nishkama Karma, where I do my activity without any of these karma. Right? You'll start hearing about it the next part of this chapter as we go along. So I'll stop here. I'm hoping it's 6 o'clock. So let me stop here. If there are any questions, I don't know how much time I have as long as the permit. Okay, I'm okay with all those questions.
Actually, that is also another way of getting. But Krishna conscious also, some somas, that also needs certain encouragement in people. And it's also, we should not extinction. If you much process,
Nice question. So Mataji's question is even in Krishna consciousness, in service also, there is some expectation. Should I not even expect that? I have a small story. I'll probably connect it to it, right? So there was a village. Village was very, very, very poor. So they all went to the king. Okay, and the king bought this minister, and he said, villages में जो 5 लोग आए हैं, उनको जो चाहिए दे देना. So one person said, I don't have a house. I have a broken house. Can you build it for me? The other person said, we don't have enough ration at the house in the house. Can you give me this? The other person asked for something else like that. Okay, a nice dress they wanted for the children and so on. Each of them asked for one. The last person said, "Can you please invite the king to my house?" Okay. You understood what happened? When the king comes, automatically he gets a good house, good dress, good food. Automatic, उसका road अच्छा बन गया. That's called intelligence. Okay. When you expect, when you tell that, okay, give me this, you're having asking for handful. When you don't ask, unlimited. Okay. So anytime you feel that I've done something I need to get, Lord decides how much you should get. Okay. It is said the Lord, if the Lord is very pleased with someone, gives him a lot of wealth. He's even more pleased. He removes everything. If the Lord is very pleased with you, He'll give you a lot of wealth. He's even more pleased, He'll remove everything because you don't want anything. He's so pleased that you are completely dependent only on the Lord. The Lord's way of reciprocation is not at all possible for us to put into our logical, you know, three-dimensional brain that we have. Okay, it's way beyond it. Okay, so never go and ask Lord, give me this, give me that. It's like going to a doctor with a, telling that I have a headache, give me crocin, give me this medicine. Let the doctor decide what is the best medicine for you. Okay. Sometimes you go, they tell that, okay, the doctor, same doctor, two patients, same symptoms, will tell you fast, you eat nicely. Possible.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's what the Lord will do. He will know how to treat each one of us. So whenever you're doing service, the best reciprocation, yeah, okay, this is a nice point to remember. To your question for all of you, what is the best way to know if the Lord is happy with my service? What is the only way to know the Lord is happy with my service?
When you are happy, what please?
You're happy, bhakti is the service. But how you know the Lord is happy? When the Guru is pleased, okay. There's one more.
Feel satisfied.
When you feel satisfied, what is the best way to know the Lord is happy with my service? He did his kirtan, many of them appreciated. You're happy, satisfied.
To tell the God is thankful. Every time he has to tell the thank you or he has to service.
Yeah, everyone else appreciates that I've done. Simplest way that you know the Lord is happy with my service is you will continue to get the service. You will get more service, same service, but you will continue to get the service. That is the way to know the Lord is happy. As long as you are getting services, remember that the Lord is happy with what you are doing. Okay? Also, the Lord is testing you, saying that, भाई, इस तो ठीक से कर दे. कितनी बार फेल होगा एक बार तो पास हो जाए. So he'll continue to give you that service. So when the Lord is happy with your cooking, Lord will give you a chance to cook more. So, I mean, it's an open invitation. Rath Yatra is coming. All of you have an opportunity to cook for Jagannath. He's going to come. I don't know how many of you came to temple yesterday. We had Snan Yatra. Jagannath is now in Annavasara. He's closed down for 14 days, quarantined. So after quarantine, when he comes out, after 14 days, he'll come on the Ratha. He wants to see all of us. So you have your best ability, show it to the Lord. We have the best of dresses. We come with as much preparations of items that we can cook for the Lord. Offer it to him. वो 56 भोग तो खाते हैं 56 भोग 56 बार खाते हैं उस दिन 64 items 64 types कितनी बार खाते हैं his hands are always wet right so in Puri the Jagannath's hands are always wet he never stops that's the place of prasad right so Lord eats his prasad there Jagannath is there so do your service for any of the Matajis or Prabhujis who like cooking cook for the Lord otherwise contribute to your cooking right so best way to know the Lord is happy with my services I'll continue to get more services no other recognition. So there was a time when Srila Prabhupada was supposed to give a class at, let's say, 8 in the morning. I don't know the time. And he sat on the Vyasas and started his kirtan. He started giving the class. Someone peeped and there was no one in the audience. Okay. Sometimes devotees are like, Hare Prabhu, can I wait for the audience to come before I start my class, before I do my kirtan, before I do my drama? And they're like, audience ही नहीं है, किसके लिए कर रहे हैं? You're doing it for the Lord. If your understanding is clear, then you will not worry about recognition. You will not worry about who appreciates me. If he sings nicely, then if the Lord is happy, you'll continue to learn more. You'll continue to get more services, bigger services, and that should be our aim, right? So can I do more? When we went for first yatra, we were 50 people. 50 people in one bus. We used to go 47, 48 people. We used to do it one bus. Uh, 5, 6 years, 7 years later, we were 250 people, 5 buses. we were struggling to manage because every year we grew. It was not that 50 became 250, 50 became 80, then became 100, 120, 180. Suddenly it was 250 after COVID. We did a yatra. Everyone wanted to come to Vrindavan. Automatically, the Lord will engage you. And what's the best part of being engaged in the service? You have less time for Maya. As simple as that. Right? So, when you are busy, when you have to spend this 1 hour sitting here and listening to Katha, 1 hour less of TV, 1 hour less of your Instagram, mobile roles, stories, whatever it is, right? So, give time for the Lord. It will take time away from Maya. Full time engaged in the Lord's service, no time for Maya. I'm hoping I answered a little elaborate. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. This time I'll keep the answer short. Any more questions?
He said, once he's pleased, when I'm pleased, he takes away. It's like only well to stand and
Mataji, I don't know how to answer. How long have you been in Krishna consciousness? How long have you been with this con or these classes? Relatively new. So you will start experiencing more. Krishna likes, he will take away from others, right? So he will not take away your wealth unless, why will he take away health? He'll take away life. He will not put you into ICU. That's not his purpose, right? So usually he likes you too much, he'll probably take you back, keep him with you. Right. So that requires a lot of qualification. Um, I don't know. I've heard from devotees Krishna is very pleased, so went back Krishna. That's possible. But I don't think we should worry about health, family, what. So he will remove something that we are very attached so that you become fully dependent on it, or he will remove something that is blocking you from progressing. Provided, provided you go and tell him, I want to come. So how many of you know this shloka called Chaitanya Shikshamrita? Shikshashtakam. You have heard of Shikshashtakam, Cheto Darpana Marjan. There's a shloka that says, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Right? So it says, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. I don't want dhanam, I don't want no big birth, and no sundari, no beautiful husband, no beautiful wife. I don't want. Oh my dear Krishna, इसको seriously मत लेना. That's how we pray, right? So that prayer stops, when you're telling Krishna, give me, if you so please, give me this. That should be our prayers. Whenever you go to the Lord, you always put this clause. If you so please, if you so desire, if you feel good, then let me get this. There was there's one example I can talk from a corporate perspective, right? So there used to be a person in one of the teams that I know, and she used to be a lady. She used to be a very wonderful worker, individual contributor, like you would know. She used to manage her work very nicely, very organized, always, top rater, and so on. And so for a period of time, they said, okay, usko to promotion dena chahiye, isko promotion dena chahiye. That kept happening. Finally, they gave her a promotion. She became a manager. So she had 10 people she had to manage. That top performer suddenly slacked, became depressed. She's not able to manage work. She's not able to manage people, manage family, because she took up something that she could not manage and she did not know she was taking up. Right? So, like typical corporate jargon, bite as much as you can chew. More than that, you can't chew. You can't close open your mouth. So she probably took something that was not capable her into her capability. Similarly, Krishna will not put you into a situation where you cannot swim through, when you cannot pass out of, not that pass out, but pass out of. Right? So like that. So if things are going well for you, thank Krishna. Things are not going well for you, go tell Krishna. I don't want to tell one more story. If there are no questions, probably I'll finish off with the footprint story. I think most of you would know. Yes, Matish.
like recent area crash. Maybe their month over and like ISO is over. But people are saying, Bhagavad Gita stayed back and like Bhagavad Gita that and people are saying,
In one of the places, Srila Prabhupada mentions, if the whole world collapses, if everything in Krishna consciousness collapses, just keep my books intact. Everything will revive back. Okay, so people are just relating back to that story. So the uncertainty of life can be actually seen in this plane crash. Okay, and I'm not talking about the 150 odd people who were on the plane. I'm talking about the 50 people who were in there. hostels. They, they did nothing. They didn't plan to fly. They didn't want to go to London. They didn't have anything. But life is so uncertain. So we never know what is going to happen the next moment. So it's better we are prepared. Okay, you will read later in the Bhagavad Gita when you go to the eighth chapter, you will talk about Antakali Chumamiva, right? So what should be our mood when we are in the Antakala of our life? And we don't have time, you know. There's no one who says that okay, at 50 you will start Vanaprastha and then start taking Bhagavad Gita seriously. When should I take Bhagavad Gita seriously? When should I start Bhagavad Gita? Seriously, seriously. Kaumarama Charitra. Start with Kaumara. Okay, how many of you are going back to Komara? Next life, is it? So, anyway, start today. Start taking it today. It's not very difficult. Like we just mentioned, it's very simple process. Uh, Chanting, hearing, prasadam, ABCD. You have heard? You have heard ABCD? How many of you know ABCD of Krishna consciousness? No, no. बहुत simple सी बात है. A, associate with devotees. B, read the books, Bhagavad Gita books. C, chanting, very important. And D, diet. DT वर्षम उसके बाद आएगा. D is your diet. Take prashadam. Take as much prashadam. Or always plan for that. You like something, you like to cook very nice, like I just mentioned. Cook nicely, offer it to the Lord and eat it. Both the Lord is happy, you are happy, no karma. So I did not elaborate on the karma concept. You will hear about it in the third chapter and the fifth chapter again. Right? So when you cook something and eat, you get the karma for it. If you cook something, offer it to the Lord and eat, you get no karma for it. Offering for the Lord takes 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, your income tax becomes zero. So why pay taxes? Why take the karma? Now you have clear tax ad that says 5 minutes, and you can. I think many of you have received your form 16, so just remember that. So that's how we should be, right? So just keep Krishna there in the center. Okay. Anything else? Anything else you want to add? Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you so much. Footprint story. Okay, how the Lord cares for us. Many of you have heard. So again, one of those corporate forwards, WhatsApp messages, but this was something that I read during my school days. So it says that there was one person who went through his life, different stages of his life. He goes back to the Lord, and the Lord says, "I was always with you." So, and he shows the footprints. There were always four, two of the Lord, two of this guy in the beach, right? So the footprints, they were always there. But whenever this person had the first time in his life, there were only two footprints, right? Many of you are smiling, so you know the story, right? So only two footprints. So he's now thinking, right, the Lord was always with me when everything was normal, whenever it was the most difficult situation, maybe the Lord left me. The Lord replies back, no, I didn't leave you, but I was carrying you. You wouldn't have passed through the situation if I was not carrying you. The footprints that you see there are mine, not yours. So always have this strong faith. Your Krishna consciousness depends completely on your faith. Your spiritual life depends on your faith. Ado Shraddha. Ado is first thing. Ado Shraddha. Tata Sadhu Sangha. After that comes the rest of the activities. Okay. Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. That the first thing. You have faith that this process will work. Even the doctor, when he gives you medicine, says, believe that this medicine will work, yeah. Right? Antya Vaidyanarayan Hari. So, anyways, have strong faith that you're in the right way, right path, spiritual life. Okay. Then associate it with the right kind of people. There are a lot of varieties outside. Okay. So anyone who comes and tells me on this Baba, that ashram, this one, that one, my question to them is very simple. What is their ultimate end? What are they ultimately telling? And many of them do not have a conclusion. You might not have realized. Many of them will talk about Pattabailu, something out there, after life you will become God and all that. But what is your practical experience out of it, right? So when you ask that question, it becomes very clear. So when you have faith that this will work, rest of it will all fall in place. And wherever you're stuck, associate with devotees. They will carry you through. We are all going together. Okay, we are all in the same hospital getting treated for different diseases to get out. I mean, ISKCON is like a hospital. Each of us have our own set of diseases. Each of us have our own set of health. Offer that health to the Lord. The rest of it is automatically removed away. Okay, let's stop here. Yes, thank you so much. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद। हरे कृष्णा।